Charlie.
All right, Shalom. Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We want to give all praises, glory, and honor be to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Hold on, let me turn my brightness up so y'all can see. But this your brother Isaiah with the brothers Denal, Azrael, and Obadiah coming at you with another Sabbath day class, lesson, discussion, breakdown, whichever you want to have. But again, we give all praise, glory, and honor be to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? And we say shalom to the viewers who tune in live. Shalom to those who will watch this after the live is over with. But Most High willing, you be edified in all things. Today's topic is, we don't live for man. So we'll go into the scriptures, kind of give you an understanding of what we mean by this topic. And like I said, Most High willing through the Spirit, you all gain some encouragement, some better understanding on how we should live our lives as people who are striving to live a set apart lifestyle in this wicked, wicked world, right? But without further ado, we can play the blowing of the shofar first, and then we'll get right into the scriptures.
Slacky.
Con. So without further ado, man, let's go on and get the first precept, man. We can go on and pull it up. We can read, the same way we read top to bottom, starting with the brother Obadiah. If you can, bring us in with Acts 17 and 28.
Acts 17 and 28. For in him we live and move and have our being, as certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring.
Right. So, man, this is our staple scripture, right? For what does it say? For in him we live and move and have our being, right? We're the offspring of the Most High. And through him, we have offspring. So we live for the Most High God, We live for the example that he sent his son to set for us to be able to obtain that life eternal, right? We don't live for man, we don't live for opinions of man, and we don't live for the world and the things of the world, right? Because what does it say in 1 John 4? Friendship of the world is enmity with God, right? Uh, but let's get into the lesson, Um, let's go to the book of Job, chapter 12 and verse number 10. Job chapter 12 and verse number 10.
The book of Job, chapter 12 and 10. In whose hand is the soul of every living thing and the breath of all mankind.
Right. So the reason that this lesson is titled the way it is, and the reason we read Acts 17 and 28 before this, is because I want to set the precedent that you see the verbiage. Pay attention to the verbiage, right? It says, in whose hand is the soul of every living thing and the breath of all mankind. Whose hand is that talking about? It's talking about the Most High God, the Creator, the Father of our Lord, who the world calls Jesus Christ. And he is the one that controls everything. For in him is who we live, like he said in Acts 17 and 28, right? And in him we have our being. He is the sole reason we're here. Like it reads in Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. The conclusion is to fear the Most High God. It didn't say fear man. It says fear the Most High God and keep his commandments, for that is the whole duty of man. It didn't say fear God, but fear man and keep the commandments of God and keep the commandments of man, right? We see in Mark 7, Christ rebuking people for keeping the doctrine of the commandments of men, right? So what I'm bringing forth today, what the brothers are bringing forth today through the Spirit, is living for the Most High God and being devout for Him, regardless of every situation that you're in. You know, from the moment we are born, we're surrounded by voices, right? Society, family, friends. You know, they often have opinions on how we should live, what we should believe, who we should serve. You know, and then in the world, you know, it often uh the world kind of often operates on the principle of, like, you know, peer pressure, right? Or public opinion. So because of this peer pressure and public opinion, people begin to deviate from the plan that the Most High God set out for them to do. The Most High God set you out to do a job, and because of whatever situation, whatever circumstance, here comes peer pressure, and then now people begin to deviate from the plan or the path that the Lord set you on. You cannot be like that. Somebody that withers with the grass, you know. Um, there's a precept, and I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it just came to me because all praise to the Most High just came to me. But it's the precept that says, um, "The grass withereth, but but dang, it's in Luke. I know for a fact it's in Luke. I just can't remember exactly where. But roughly paraphrasing, it's just pretty much saying, you know, the one thing that's going to stand forever is the word of the Lord, right? The grass is going to move, but you got to be that you got to be that plant in the midst of a windy storm, in the midst of a gale wind. You got to be that plant that's unmovable, that doesn't lean to the left, lean to the right. Let the wind take you where it go. You know, you got to be rooted in the foundation of the word of the Lord and His plan for your life. If you're not, you're going to be somebody that's living for man and not for God because of the peer pressure, because of public opinion. Regardless of the situation, circumstance you are in, you are to do the same thing that you was doing when everything was up. When you down in life, you got to keep going. Matter of fact, you should go harder. Precept, can you pull up the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse number 28, please?
You
Baruch
talking
4,
about you talking about the scripture when you talking about the grass withered? It said the grass withered, the flower fadeth, but the word of God shall stand forever.
yeah,
Isaiah 40:8.
Isaiah 48. It's one that reads like that. It's in Luke or First Peter, one of the
Oh
two.
yeah. First Peter 2, First Peter 1:24.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking about. First Peter 1 and 24. Read that real quick.
It
Which one?
says, "For all flesh is as grass, and all the
Right,
glory of man as the flower of grass. The
right,
grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away."
right, right,
Get
right.
that
So
scripture from.
that one is the one that I was alluding to, man. You know,
Mm.
um, we gotta be, like I said, we have to be more devout. We have to be more, I guess you could say, more rooted in the foundation like a tree. You know what I'm saying? Because anytime you get a tree and the tree is matured, the tree is gonna have a lot of roots. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about trees, if you ever done tree removal, when you have a tree that has a lot of roots in the ground, you're gonna charge more to remove that tree. It's harder to remove. So many roots. The foundation of things is gonna be coming up. So you got to do an excellent job of getting that tree out the ground. It's gonna take you a lot more. Well, that's what it is with the Father. We should be so rooted in Him that there's nothing anybody can say, anybody can do to cause you to leave or deviate from the plan that God set out for you to do, right? But it was Baruch 4 and 28. You don't gotta click on it. We can just you can just scroll to the bottom. We can read it on the screen, unless you just want to make it bigger for you.
Oh, con. Baruch 4 and 28. It says, "For as it was your mind to go astray from God, so being returned, seek Him 10 times more."
The wisdom in the Bible is always telling us if we fall short, if we fall away, come back and go even harder. The wisdom of the scriptures never say if you fall, deviate from the plan if people around you tell you to, because it's their opinion that shapes your life, that shapes your future, right? No wisdom in the Bible says that at all. Matter of fact, let's get the next precept, 1 Corinthians 3 and 19, right? Because again, we don't live for how man feels we should live. You go through certain things and people start telling you what you should and shouldn't do. And it's their opinion. It's not the truth. It's not the word of the Lord. And quite frankly, it means nothing. It means nothing. Why does it mean nothing? Let's read this in 1 Corinthians 3:19. It's on you, Obadiah.
1 Corinthians 3:19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
The wisdom of the world is foolishness with the Most High God. It doesn't matter how wise you are according to how the world functions. If you have no knowledge of the scriptures, anything you speak, I should consider you a fool because, again, the Lord considers you a fool. And this is the advice given from our brother Paul. Is if you don't have no knowledge of the commandments, no wisdom, then you're somebody that's speaking foolish things. And if you're not telling me according to thus saith the Lord, then I can't listen to it. I'm not sorry for it either. And neither should you be as a believer, as somebody who's striving to walk according to the law, statutes, and commandments. You should not feel bad for picking and choosing what you want to listen to. You should actually pick and choose what you listen to as a believer. People try to like make Israelites feel bad for wanting to be set apart. People literally try to make it hard for Israelites to follow the laws of God when everybody in the world claims they have a knowledge of God. And it's sad because some people get peer pressure to the point where they start believing what these foolish people are saying is the truth. You do have to pick and choose. People always say, well, you picking and choosing what you want to do, and this, that, and the third, you're picking and choosing, you're picking and choosing. Yes, you are supposed to pick and choose. You are. You can't just listen to everything. You can't let everything enter your spirit. Some things you just got to let go in one ear and out the other. Some things you can't let go in your ears at all. You just got to keep it pushing. Remove yourself from the situation. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter about whatever situation or circumstance you're in. If you're in a humble position, of course, like we read in Baruch 4:28, if anything that you did caused you to fall, go astray from the Lord, even if it didn't cause you to go astray from the Lord, but it caused you to fall, go 10 times harder for the Lord, regardless if you fell away from him or you just fell in general, right? Go 10 times harder because that's the thing that's going to sustain you, right? Let's pull up another precept, Isaiah 33:6. Isaiah chapter 33 and verse number 6.
I had a point real quick, King.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, I think too with the Most High, man, He definitely been putting me in situations just working with my granddad, man. You know, he the type of person that he'll scoff against the word every single day. He'll see you, he gonna say something scoffing against the word. So what the brother Isaiah is saying is like a lot of times you can't let that stuff get under your skin. Because if I would let that stuff he be saying get under my skin, man, I'd be emotional. Like I'd be yelling all the time, upset. I'm done with this job. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times you can't let this stuff get under your skin because it be Satan all the time. You know if somebody coming to scoff at the word is Satan, and you doing something right though. You doing something right because nobody ain't you're not supposed to fit in with everybody. They supposed to notice a difference within how you live and what you do. So yeah.
God. Let's read this in Isaiah 33:6.
Isaiah chapter 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Right. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability. But what wisdom and what knowledge should be our stability? What do we build our foundation on? We just read in 1 Corinthians 3:19. It's clearly not the wisdom of the world, the knowledge of the world. It's foolishness with God. So it has to be talking about the laws, the statutes, the commandments, that knowledge of the Lord. That's what's going to sustain us. If you fall short in any aspect of life, as a man, as a woman, as a brother, as a sister, as a son, as a daughter, it doesn't matter, right? You fall short, you lean on the commandments of the Lord to help pick you back up. You don't stop doing the Lord's work just because somebody says you should do it. You don't stop going hard for the Lord because people are telling you that, oh, well, it's kind of hypocritical. No, you go harder. You go harder, right? You make your calling and election sure through the works that you do. Because what we didn't quote earlier was Ecclesiastes 12:14, which said that because it is our whole duty to fear God and keep his commandments, the Lord is going to bring every work that we do into judgment. And when you get into situations where you fall short in life, you come up short, and then you stop doing the work of the Lord is going to remember that. What makes you think you worthy to inherit the kingdom if you go through a little trial and tribulation in life, and because somebody told you that you should stop doing my work, because somebody told you you should stop calling on my name, because somebody told you you should stop doing the things that I called you to do, you stop doing it. That's not real. That's unauthentic. That's not being devout for the Most High God. You're not living for God if you're allowing man to persuade how you move in this life. You're living for man. And if you're living for man, you need to stop. And don't let man make you feel bad about doing what the God called you to do, regardless of who it is. Regardless of who it is. You got to know there's a just balance. You got to understand how to truly honor your father and your mother, right? I'm not telling nobody to disrespect any type of parent, loved one, sibling, anything. What I'm saying is know who is in control. If you know who is in control, then you're going to know who you submit yourself to, right? Who is in control? Is it your fleshly parents? No. Is it your fleshly siblings? No. Siblings, excuse me. Is it your fleshly friends? No. Right? Is it your elder, your bishop? No. It's the Most High God. The Most High God runs this show. And if you, when adversity strikes, allow people's opinion to get you to stop doing the thing that you thought it was going to take you to the promised land, then you're not worthy of the promised land. So you can't look foolish if the Lord take you out in the midst of your fall away, and then you wake up and now you're receiving everlasting shame and contempt because you stopped showing up for the Lord because people told you to. You let people's opinion make you feel bad, and then you stop doing the thing that got you to the point where, or it could have got you to the point where you was reaping the harvest.
Yeah.
Just like the brother Obadiah said, and Kyle, I'll let you go. Just like the brother Obadiah said, he worked with his grandfather, man. His grandfather scoffed. If he took everything that his grandfather said to heart, he would be without a job. You just got to learn how to, let stuff go in one ear out the other. And not only that, sometimes you don't got to sit around and listen to people say foolish things. Just walk away. It's not narcissistic. It is not disrespectful. It's called protecting your peace. It's called being of the mind that, the Lord is in control. We don't have to listen to what the world tells us. We got to listen to what the Father tells us. And if the Most High God said, you got to present your body as a living sacrifice, don't stop doing it just because adversity strikes. Don't fall away. And take this from somebody who's literally in times past has done that. Adversity may strike. I may take a couple months off from going on live, doing videos, right? Adversity may strike. I probably feel like skipping camp this week. All I'm saying is that there is no reason to listen to man and allow man to persuade how you serve your God. How the Most High God told you to serve him is how you serve him, whether you're winning in life or you're losing in life. Whatever situation you're in life, you serve the Most High God the same way. You don't allow what man say to influence the way you serve, the way you worship, the way you praise. And if you're somebody that's dealing with that, you're in a situation that, you in the same predicament, then let this lesson bear witness to the decision that you should make, right? Go ahead, Obadiah. I know you had a point.
I was gonna say, man, we definitely shouldn't let especially our people that's in the world that don't even know the Most High, people in the world that can care less about the commandments. We shouldn't even why would we let those people take us away from the Most High? And it's like that what happens a lot of times when people fall away from the knowledge of the truth. They let their worldly parents, friends, auntie, uncles, they let them get in their ear, and they let those people take them out persuade them to come away from the truth. And it's like those people in darkness right now. I'm not saying the Lord can't wake them up and they can't come into the truth, but right now they in darkness. So why would you allow people that's in darkness to take you from the light and bring you into darkness? Now you on the way to the lake of fire because you allow people that's in the world to bring you into the world.
Salakia too, man. We don't live for man, and also we don't live for women. We all know what folly day is today, and you listen to the world. They tell you, man, you ain't buy your girl flowers, bro. Come on, bro. It's just a gesture, bro. And you tell them, nah, bro. You gotta look up the roots of this day. I show my girl love every other day. It don't have to be today. And listening to the world, they'll try to make you, we've been in this thing for a minute now, so it doesn't work, but they'll try to make you feel bad for not buying flowers or going on a date or telling your girl happy Valentine's Day or writing her a card. Y'all are heartless. But this is the thing, the same people that will say that are in confusion because those same people are in the uproar about Epstein and Epstein. Imagine throwing a party every year for Epstein and what Epstein did on his island. That's what you're doing for Valentine's Day. When you look up Lupercalia and all of that, man, they was doing pedophilia, they was adultery, they was doing all these things in the streets for this holiday, whole so-called holiday. Then they turned it into Valentine's Day because they still wanted to celebrate it. Talking about they're gonna celebrate Saint Valentine. I say all that to say this: you listen to man and you let man influence your decisions, you're gonna be just as confounded and confused as them because they don't know what they believe, they don't know what they talk about, they don't know what they're thinking. They have somebody else, other demonic, satanic, uh, romantic entities tell them what to think, and they grow up thinking that way, and they'll have you thinking that you're wrong even though you're thinking that you're right. I mean, even though that you're right, right? So a lot of this, man, it just goes in to show that you got to be confident in what you study, confident in what you believe, and you have to have great faith, because if not, you're going to slip right back into the world and do worldly things.
God, man. Hebrews 11:1 says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, right? So, meaning that you're in a situation where you're down, you're compromised, right? You're in this environment, or you got a bunch of people around you that are telling you this negative things. One reason we serve the Lord is because of his prophecies. And his prophecies say that we will have a better future, right? If we do X, Y, and Z. So that's the source, that's the substance of our faith right there. We hope for a better future, right? And the evidence of things not seen. Hey, it's just like I compare it to like we say practice, man. Because we have faith, you have been an athlete before, you practice. And a lot of people are not there when you're practice, they just see the performance, right? But when you go out there and you ball, you have a great game, that'll just prove how much faith that you truly have. That'll confirm it in the souls of others in the same way. So I'm just saying all that to say, man, look, the things that in the spirit that we got to do that people don't really see, pray, read, fast, do whatever it is that we need to do to increase our faith, especially in these last days, man. Now we don't use the excuse. I'm not somebody that likes to blame captivity for bad decisions all the time, right? Because of captivity, people have forgotten the law of their God, right? And because we've forgotten the law of our God, people have begun making bad decisions. But once you know the knowledge of the truth, even in captivity, this is an opportunity for you to always glorify the name of the Lord, right? I got another precept. Bring up Proverbs 28:4. Bring up Proverbs 28:4. You in captivity, right? And you know the knowledge of the truth. Man, you just got to expect that certain things are going to happen. Like we read in Sirach 2, I want to say last week when I got on, we read Sirach 2:1. Last week, Monday, my son, without coming to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. The Lord literally had it written down for a reason, right? But let's read this in Proverbs 28:4.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 28 and verse number 4, it says, they that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them.
Hey, like the brother Azrael was just going into, people praise Valentine's Day because they forsake the law of God. But people like the brother Azrael that keep the law, they cleave to the law. Hey, he's always going to contend with those who don't. Because why? They forsake the law. You got to expect as a believer that there's going to be people around you that don't acknowledge the law of God. They don't want to follow it. They don't follow it. And guess what? Because they don't, you're always going to have contention. And there's going to be more of those people than probably you yourself. But you got to be like the tree that's rooted in the foundation of the word, right? And not wither to the left or to the right just because of what they say. just because of the way they feel. It's not about being arrogant. It's not about being cocky. It's about understanding that you need to have an unbreakable faith. Unapologetically, right? Unapologetically devout for the Most High God. We got terms like unapologetically black, unapologetically Democrat, unapologetically female, right? Be unapologetically devout for the Most High God. Like, stop apologizing or stop feeling bad for people not getting it. Some people, it's just not meant for them to get. Again, this is not me saying be rude to people. This is not me saying treat people like dirt. Show love to everybody, even those who try to peer pressure you into doing the wrong thing, right? But understand that you don't have to feel bad for making the decisions you make, whether it be male or female, brother or son, nephew or uncle, right? Niece or aunt, mother or daughter. It don't matter, right? Don't feel bad for going hard for the Lord, because that's what the Lord commands us to do. And if you don't believe it in your heart, you're going to allow the way other people feel get you to go off the track. Go ahead, O.
I was gonna say, yeah, my granddad told me, he was like, man, you know, you believing in a dream and something that ain't gonna never happen. So he basically saying, like, you know, we going out teaching, and I believe in the kingdom, but he like, it ain't gonna never happen, it ain't gonna never come. So like stuff like that, people gonna say stuff, people gonna say some off the wall stuff, man. But you can't let those things maneuver your faith and have you question, like, dang, is he right? Is it gonna happen? Am I wasting my time? That's why you got to stay bold for the Lord, man. You know, and just understand that the word said what it said. The word said what it said. People can say what they say, but their words ain't stronger than what the words of the Lord said. Whatever He wrote down in this book is going to happen.
Right. Hey, you can pull up that precept. It's in Proverbs. I want to say it's 28. It may not be 28, but it's talking about he that doesn't have control over his spirit is like a city without walls. It might be like 20. I can't remember the exact precept. I know it's in Proverbs, one of them 20s. It might be wrong though.
Yeah, 25.
25. There we go.
Proverbs 25 and 28.
25 and 28. That's why I keep thinking 28. Yeah. Let's read this in Proverbs 25 and 28.
Proverbs 25 and 28. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
Right, man. Rule your spirit, dog. Like, the Most High put the spirit in you, so control it. Rule over it, because He gave you authority over that spirit that He placed inside of you. You have a right to possess that spirit. Stop being scared to be devout and possess that spirit. Stand up for the name of the Lord. There's going to come a time where you're going to wish that all the, I guess you could say, the peer pressure that you were faced with, that you didn't give into. Because then there's going to be a time you desire to get that spirit back and you can't get it. We have an opportunity to obtain it. So control the spirit. If the Lord sends a spirit of wisdom inside of you, then control it. Possess it. Stop allowing what everybody say to trigger you. Stop allowing what everybody say to get your blood boiling hot. And I'm not saying that people are not going to say things that make you upset, make you mad, make you frustrated, make you angry, make you ready to fight. But Ephesians 4 and 26, be ye angry and sin not. Right? Be angry, but don't allow that to provoke you to wrath. When you get angry, you just need to, if somebody texts something to your phone and it makes you mad, the best thing for you to do is not respond. Leave it on red, right? Don't say nothing back. If somebody says something to you in person and it makes you upset, best thing to do is be quiet, walk away. Or you can communicate with them and say, hey, could you not say that offends me? And if they try to take it even further than that, then you got to remove yourself from the situation. But be angry, but don't sin, because, again, he that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. So we got to control the spirit of the Lord that is within inside of us, right? Everything that everybody say is going to maybe make you feel a type of way, but you got to still remain, I guess you could say, focused on the Lord, right? Can we get Psalms? I think that's Psalms 1 and, no, wait. Hold on. Dang. What's that precept? I will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee.
Sounds like a Psalms.
I want to say it's in the Psalms, but I was finna say the wrong chapter. Or is that Isaiah 26 and 3?
Isaiah 26
Yeah,
and 3.
yeah, that's what I thought. Isaiah 26 and 3. Pull that up real quick. Con. Isaiah 26 and 3. Let's read this real quick.
It's on me.
It's on Azrael.
As the book of Isaiah, chapter 26 and 3, that will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee.
Right. If you trust in the Lord, man, with all your heart, and lean not unto your own understanding, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths, like it reads in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, then the Lord will keep you in perfect peace. You got to keep your mind on him. Anytime somebody says something, think about the Lord. Think about how the Lord will react. Sometimes you just got to think about when people say things, sometimes you got to think about the times you probably angered the Lord. Did the Lord turn up on you? He could have, but he probably didn't. And if he did, again, he's the Lord, right? Our thoughts are not his thoughts, and our ways are not his ways. Because the Lord does something doesn't mean we're justified in doing the same. But he doesn't just do anything just out of the ordinary just because, oh, I'm the Lord and that's my power and authority. He gave us a word. He made a contract and he bid us to it, and he would bid himself to it. And we have an opportunity to learn the ways of that contract, the same way King Josiah found out about the contract when when they pretty much had forgotten the laws of their God. Same way we have an opportunity to. We have an opportunity to burn down these idols. We have an opportunity to walk in these commandments, but you got to be willing to do it. And you got to stop allowing what people say to throw you off your game. We got to make sure that we're focused on living for the Most High and not man. Because when you're living for man, you're going to be like a city without walls. When you're like a man, when you're living for man, you're not trusting in the Lord, you're trusting in man. And man is not going to be the one to validate you at the end of your life, excuse me. Right? We'll pull that precept up after Obadiah go, but go ahead, O.
Can I was gonna say, man, yeah, when you get put in situations like that, the Most High really trying to see who really truly gonna stand bold, like who truly believes in what his words say. Are you gonna be persuaded by people to denounce his name, or are you gonna be ashamed to confess that you're an Israelite and show that you're an Israelite because of people mocking you and talking about you, or are you gonna be bold? So the Lord is He's separating the sheep and the goats, man. Right? He's doing that. He's starting it off. He's starting it off. You can tell he putting a separation between the people that's really trying to keep the commandments and bold, even when adversity strike, or they folding when the pressure get high, right? When they get thrown into that fire, now they getting tested, now they folding. The Lord is he's setting the difference between the bold and the cowardly.
Right. Hey, let's get Matthew 10 real quick. He's setting the difference between the bold and the cowardly, right? Remember, the Most High God is the ultimate judge. You know what I'm saying? And because he is the ultimate judge, we know that man's opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what man think that you should do or say. It doesn't matter what man think that you should celebrate. It doesn't matter what man think that you should eat. It's about what God said. And if we going by what God said, then that means that, hey, we can't worry about what men say or feel about it. We going by what God said. And if they don't want to hearken unto what God say, hey, don't allow that to let you lose sleep overnight. Now you're feeling sorrow according to the world because your friends, they despise you because people are gainsaying you and you don't like it and it's making you feel like you're a bad person. Man, you got to think morality is defined by a lot of different things in this world, man. Every group, every country has a different understanding of what morality is. So the morality that should reign supreme in your life is the morality of the Lord. And if the Lord tells you, do this, do that in the third, it doesn't matter if the world say that's bad, and that's bad. Do it because the Lord said do it, right? Let's read this in Matthew 10. Let's go to start at verse 28.
Con. Matthew 10 and verse 28, it says, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
Right. Why? Because again, the Most High God just said, Christ just said right here that you got to fear him who is able to destroy your soul and your body. And that's the Most High God. Right? Let's read verse 32. Let's jump down to verse 32.
Verse 32. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven.
Read 33 as well.
But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven.
Why? Because again, it's important to understand, right? Let's read 34 and 35 and 36. Let's read 34 to 36.
Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Man, you got to understand that this is prophetic. This is not just by coincidence, dog. It's not that people don't like you or they gainsay against you because they just choose to do it. It's literally the spirit. We read in Proverbs 28 and 4 that those that forsake the law are always going to contend with those that don't forsake the law. It's prophetic, right? Let's read it, verse 37.
Verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Now, we know this is Christ speaking, but like he reads in John 12, 48 through 50, I'm led to believe that this is the Most High God speaking through Christ. Because again, if you love somebody more than you love the Most High, then quite frankly, you're not worthy of the kingdom. And that's what happens when you begin to subscribe to the opinions of what men say. You begin to exemplify that you love man more than you love God. Now, granted, we know in 1 John, it talks about how can you love him who you have not seen more than him who you see every day, right? But the context is hating your brother. And I shouldn't hate my brother unlawfully, right? I shouldn't hate him in any wise. I should just rebuke him and not suffer sin upon him like the law tells me to do. But when it comes to talking about this, loving people more than you love the Most High, that's talking about people that's telling you to go against him, and you're doing it. Just because somebody is not directly telling you to go kill somebody or go steal from somebody or go commit adultery doesn't mean it's not going against the Lord. It could be going against the Lord if you made an agreement with the Lord. Hey, I'm going to go to camp every week. I'm going to go to camp every week. And that's the covenant you made with God. You said that. You uttered those words. You told the Lord that you would fulfill this role. I'm going to go teach every week on the Sabbath. That's what I aspire to do. That's the way I'm presenting my body as a living sacrifice. Then you have to honor that covenant. You have to. If you told the Lord that, you got to live up to it, right? Again, let's read verse 38.
Verse 38. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me.
So if you said that was going to be your cross, you was going to go teach at camp every Sabbath day, and just because you in a situation and now people are saying you don't need to be going out there and teaching and you choose to stop doing it, then you're not taking your cross. You're not worthy to partake of the blessing that the Most High God sent down to relate to us through his son. And it's just that simple, right? All in all, this is talking about this. I'll sum all of this up in this. verse number 39. Let's read this.
Verse 39, he that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it.
Right. If you lose friends, family, if you lose loved ones over the name of this truth, you're saving your life. Little do you know it. The powers that be are not a terror unto good works. That's Romans 13, 1 through 5 and 6, right? You can read about that because that's wisdom of the Lord. It's not wisdom of the world. It doesn't matter what the world tells you to do. The Lord is the judge, the ultimate judge, and our lives are devoted to him. We were bought with the price. So we must glorify God in our bodies, in every vessel of our bodies, right? The Lord purchased us. We belong to him. And if you don't believe that in your heart, you're going to allow what man say or does to persuade you and get off track. So don't allow what man says to persuade you. Doesn't matter what situation you're in. You could be up in life. You could be down in life. You could be going through the storm in life. You could be all over the place, right? But root yourself in the wisdom of the word and allow the Lord to be on your mind, because the Lord literally said in Isaiah 26, he's going to keep those in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on him, right? You had something to say, Denal?
Just
That's right, yo. I don't know what brothers were saying. Was holding up the hand. You had something to say? God. Well, with that, man, you can close this thing on down. Want to say again, Shabbat Shalom. This is an exhortation, man, to look. Don't save your life on this side of life just because of peer pressure. Stop allowing peer pressure. Stop allowing opinions of people in the world persuade you to stop doing the things that the Father set forth to do or that you agreed to do, right? Like it says in the law, hey, if you make a vow unto the Lord, slack not to pay it, right? I got one more precept. I lied. I got one more precept. Deuteronomy 30 and 19. Deuteronomy 30. Start at 16, really. Deuteronomy 30, 16 through 19. And I'll close after that. I want to read that because, again, this is not necessarily a message to like fuss at nobody or exhort anybody to act foolishly towards anybody. Again, live peaceably with all men if at all possible, right? If at all possible, live peaceably. Just because you may be in a situation where you stay with somebody and they don't keep the law, don't mean you got to start being rude and arrogant to them. Stop talking to me, you fool. Every time they say something to you. No. Learn when not to hold your peace, right? And when you do give utterance, you don't have to do it in an arrogant, disrespectful way. Always got to exemplify the fruits of the Spirit. There's a time and place, but don't allow what they say to kind of make you step to the left or to the right. Just stay on the straight path, the straight and narrow path, because the path we're on is narrow. Broad is the way to destruction, but straight is the gate and narrow is the way that leadeth to life. And there's going to be few that find it, right? But let's read this in Deuteronomy 30 and 19.
Obadiah has something to say.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, my bad.
You all right, King? You all right? I was gonna say, man, we just got to remember what the scriptures say. You know what the prophecies say. Christ said, if they hate you, just know they hated me before they hated you. So we can't look at this as like shocking when you have people that come against us for this truth, because they did the same thing to Christ. So we gotta expect these things. We gotta expect when loved ones scoff against the word or scoff at us because we keeping the commandments. These are things we gotta expect. We can't let these things throw us off guard and be like, wow, he or she said that. What? And now you upset, you know what I'm saying? You letting it get to you every single time. You got to know the Bible said this was going to happen. So once you know the Bible said that people is going to be scoffers in the last days, you're going to have family going to rise up against you. The love of many going to wax cold. These things are said to happen. So you got to expect these things. You can't let these things throw you off guard every single time. And every single time somebody say something, scoff, and now you upset. Now you questioning the truth every single time. No, you gotta learn. So at one point, you gotta get tired of that. You're gonna say I'm not gonna let that get to me, and it is what it is, you know. But
Hey, and I'll say this too, man. Again, I lightly said it earlier, but I'll say it again. Sometimes in life, you may do things that cause people to react a certain way, feel a certain way, right? You may do things that may get people ruffled in their feathers, right? But don't sit up here and gloat in your misery, right? And what I mean by is don't stay down. Like we read in Baruch 4, if anything that you did in this life caused you to fall or caused you to fall away, it caused you to fall and or it caused you to fall away from the Lord, return and go harder, doing things the right way, doing it better, right? That doesn't mean, look, living this life, being set apart does not mean you may not make a mistake. You may do something wrong and it can affect a lot more people than yourself. Acknowledge that, right? But that does not mean that because you did something that caused people this hurt and this pain, that caused you to fall, that does not mean now you just have to stay down. And whatever they say, you just got to follow it. It don't mean that. It means that you need to learn from whatever you did was wrong, and now you got to go harder, 10 times harder, right? Uh, but what happened to the verse? You have to know? Kyle, let's read this and then we'll close out. Deuteronomy 30 and 19.
It's on Azrael, I think.
Deuteronomy chapter 30 and 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live.
Right. Choosing death is to choose the way that is not associated with the Father. The wisdom of the world is not associated with the Father. James 4 and 4 says it. 1 John 2 and 15 says it. There's no other reason why you should think that we can be able to live according to the world and the Father, because Luke 16 and 13 tells us we can't serve God and mammon, right? Live our lives set apart. By the Most High God do we live, right? That was the first thing we read in Acts 17 and 28. So Most High willing you were edified. Most High willing, if you're going through the same situation, a similar situation, just remind yourself to focus on the things of the Lord. Don't fall. If you fall, don't stay down. Learn from it, get back up, keep it moving. Keep doing the things that the Most High God called you to do, regardless of situation, regardless of circumstance, and regardless of who's saying what. Because at the end of the day, that's going to be our stability, like we read in Isaiah 33 and 6. But I'll have nothing else. Brothers, got anything to add? Khan. Khan. Well, Shabbat Shalom. Most High willing, you are edified. We'll be on here again tomorrow on Soul Food Sunday, so stay tuned. But Shalom, all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High God.